Colorado State Republican Jared Wright was on Fox News Tuesday being interviewed by Brian Kilmeade, and he said it was, quote, just a matter of time before marijuana legalization causes violence and increased crime. Let's take a look.
And overall, Representative, how's it going in Colorado with pot being legal?
We've had reports from our law enforcement officials. Recently, the Denver police chief commented that the rollout has gone smoothly. As of a couple days ago, they hadn't attributed any acts of violence or increased crimes to the fact that we have these shops on our street corners. I think it's a matter of time, though. I think it's simply a matter of time before we start seeing some problems.
Okay, so that's sort of beautiful right there. He said there's no evidence of it. The cops, the police, they say there's no evidence of it, but I know that it's just a matter of time. I mean, is this shocking just because of the poll numbers? Not only nationally, weed is obviously, legalization is becoming really big, and we're about to do a story on President Obama now being okay with it. But in Colorado, it's hugely approved, and it's now legal. So what is this guy doing?
I don't know. It's like we haven't had any problems, but we're probably going to have some problems later. Like
any day now.
No evidence of that whatsoever. Okay, so every once in a while, I like to say that if I were president of the world, I would do something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And one of the ridiculous things that I would do is any politician who's going to vote on the issue of marijuana, or any pundit that's going to comment on marijuana legalization on national television, has to pass a certain standard, and that standard is you smoke marijuana, right? Because they have absolutely no idea what marijuana does, apparently. Like, you can read studies about it, but apparently they want to reject the science. So if you want to reject the science, why don't you experience it firsthand and figure out that people who smoke marijuana don't do violent things. They just want to sit on the couch, watch some TV, maybe giggle, maybe get the munchies, and move on with their lives. Like, this violence argument is so stupid, and I know I'm babbling on, but I have to make one other point. I remember a few years ago, a bunch of medical marijuana dispensaries shut down in California because Republican lawmakers were making the argument that these dispensaries were attracting violence. Well, a study was done, and the study found that they were actually crime deterrents because there was so much security at these dispensaries that criminals would stay away from them, right? You have the surveillance cameras, you have security guards, you have all of that. So it's always like unnecessary propaganda, fear-mongering, and I despise it.
Hey, fear-mongering works. You know, as we've talked before, fear-mongering works. If you want to get attention, if you want to attract fundraising for your campaign, I mean, that got this guy on Fox News. He got in the morning show in front of everybody, so mission accomplished.
Yes, and fear not, he's not just fear-mongering about violence. He's got a little something to say about EBT cards as well.
I've had conversations with some of these people that are using the EBT cards, this population, the homeless population, the most impoverished among us. Right around the state capitol building, we have some of those folks that are living on the streets. I've gone up to them and I've asked them, do they think that it's reasonable for them to be able to walk into a pot shop and use their card at an ATM? And they laugh. They think it's a joke. And frankly, I think it's unfair. You know, as a lower middle-class American myself, I think it's unfair to be encouraging a lot of these folks who are coming off of addictions, who we should be encouraging to come out of their addictions that brought them down to the level that they're at in the first place. It's just not common sense policy. I think, liquor stores, for example, are currently illegal to use an EBT card in a liquor store for a reason. And being uncharted territory, I think it's reasonable to add pot shops to that list.
Okay, all right. First off, point number one, Brian Kilmeade, ease up on the self-tanner. It's a little ridiculous.
Thank you!
Okay, that's number one.
The exact same thing!
All natural right here.
Right.
Okay, no makeup today either, by the way.
Over under on how many homeless people Jared Wright has actually spoken to.
Yes. So his little anecdotal story, which I think is a complete lie, first off, that just sounded ridiculous. But I know this is one of the things that really burns your,
I would say just
grinds your gears,
just
right?
for the sake of argument that he actually did, let's just say that he actually did go up and talk to a couple of homeless people and said, hey, what do you think about that, using your EBT card to buy that? And they laugh in his face. I have a feeling they're not laughing in his face about the question that he asked them about.
Right.
I
Right.
think they're just laughing in his face.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
really, this person is homeless, and you're a legislator, and you aren't doing anything to help them not be homeless. In fact, you're actively working against helping them not be homeless anymore.
Yeah, and by the way, the economics of this, at least for the few weeks that it's been legal, the dispensaries, they're sold out of weed. I mean, they're making tax money on this.
Yes.
This is something that's working, and that, Republicans who want this sort of smaller government and figuring out other ways to raise tax money so that you can lower income tax, that they should be for this. But of course, they're not being intellectually honest here.
They're not. And also keep in mind, I think a lot of elected officials are worried about marijuana being legalized for recreational use, nationwide, because a lot of people make money by keeping it prohibited, right? A lot of people make a lot of money by enforcing laws against marijuana. Correctional officers, even alcohol companies raise a significant amount of money and give a significant amount of money to politicians to keep marijuana legal. So I think people who speak out against the legalization of marijuana are not really concerned about the health ramifications. They're concerned about their pockets and their bottom line.
Yeah, and if there's an issue with the EBT cards, the benefit cards, the cash benefit cards for folks who are poor, if there's an issue with that, then close the loophole. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's really all you have to do. This whole thing, maybe it'll be violent, someday, any day now, it's going to be violent, any day now. That's not, the issue that is really at hand. If that's a problem, fix it. But what surprised me as well is that he mentions nothing about violence with alcohol. Mm-hmm. And violence with alcohol, I think, is a lot more, the data and the evidence support that alcohol is much more conducive to violent behavior than pot is.
Right,
Exactly.
because there's actually data.
There's actual data
and
on
evidence.
that.